Okay, I picked the wrong Peak Design bag for this adventure. I should have brought the backpack. What makes happiness? What makes us fulfilled? What makes us want to go out and live life? What gives us energy? What gives us drive to be a better person? I just released this video on happiness and we had a short viewing party of it. And a lot of times when you make videos and you edit them and you put all this stuff together, you realize you made some huge mistakes. You get lost in the work. It's easy to get sidetracked and get caught up with so many different things. But see, I want to make this point, is that happiness comes from within. It comes from within you, living life on life's terms. It comes from within you that no matter what happens in your life, you are able to find peace in it within yourself. And that doesn't matter if there's tragedy that happens, that doesn't matter if you have an amazing day, that doesn't matter if you're having a mundane day. It's that how do we find the peace in that? And truly, that is our job. And when it comes down to happiness, it also has to do with how you interact with the world. What do we do with that peace inside of us? What do we do with that knowledge? What do we do with these good things? What do we do with finding ourselves, finding our deeper values, and how do we go out in the world and live them? How do we live compassion? How do we live inner peace? How do we live knowledge? And what do we do with those things? Now see, our culture is distorted with happiness. We think that it's an image. We think that to be happy means that we show somebody a fake side of ourselves to convince them that we're good. And if they like us for liking that image, that false image that we project, then we're going to be happy. If we're accepted by a world that believes our lie about ourselves based on our insecurities, based on our inabilities to be us, then we're going to find happiness. And that's not how this works. See, I want to tell you right now, I live a really amazing life. I'm very grateful for it. I'm sure those things will change in time. I live a life that has a lot of travel. I get to see many things. I meditate daily. I express myself through art. I have good friends. I have a business which brings me independence. I have an amazing group of men that I've built up through my communities and groups. But this isn't what makes me happy. Me being able to have the experiences with my kids, me being able to be in some of the most beautiful spots in nature, me having the freedom to work, although I work all the time, just so you know. These are things that don't make me happy. These are freedoms that I get to have. In every single one of those, there is trouble. In every single one of those, there is stress. In every single one of those, it stresses and presents different fears and different negativities to me. In order for me to have happiness in those moments means I have to be able to have happiness in all moments. And this is the lesson that we need to learn. I should have brought the backpack. So I also wanted to pop in and make a video for this channel because I've neglected it for the past really 3 years. And so some of the things that we're going to start talking about on this channel more are going to have to do with divorce and the things that happened in my divorce. I wanted to give it enough time to let things settle, to have good perspective on it, not be overly emotional in talking about it. In my divorce and separation from my ex, there was a lot of stuff that happened. A lot of things that men complain about, a lot of things with custody that men think they're victims of that I won, and I clear-cut won. There were a lot of things that my ex did that were just horrible, and sadly in our culture, in today's society, they're common. I stopped them, I beat them, I actually flipped the script in so many ways. But I also did another thing, which was allowed myself and her to be parents to our kids. I didn't go into it with hate or anger or revenge or vengeance, or if I did have any of those things, I minimized them so that the end result could stabilize things. I also want to talk more about addiction, trauma, PTSD, and the different types of therapies that we're seeking and moving into. Some of those therapies have to do with alternatives, things like plant medicine and so on. If you're a fan of the different things that I've been writing and those types of things, you know that that can be a very, very dangerous road. And for the past 5 years, I've actually worked closely with people who have had addiction and trauma and sought a plant medicine therapy. And I have a lot of unique things to say about that. It's definitely not all roses. It doesn't work as a quick fix. And it's, in fact, I would say a harder road than traditional therapy. There's a lot of misinformation about this, and it's a huge thing that I want to start talking about. It's also a neglected thing that nobody talks about, and they seem to sensationalize it as this amazing cure. In addition to all of those things, for the next year, I'll be writing and publishing a book. And so a lot of the different content that comes up will most likely come out of that book. In fact, I've been writing it for a while, but I'm working with a group of editors, and it's taking a little bit of a different direction. So there's a whole new version of it being manifested at the moment. But those things are things that we're going to be discussing and talking about a lot on this channel. Now, in addition to all of that, there's also the wealth and well of social media. Jesus, man. There's Facebook, there's YouTube, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's probably something else. There's YouTube Reels or YouTube Shorts or whatever they're called. This is all crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. YouTube is something that I want to focus on heavily, and I want it to be one of the more prominent things. However, there will most likely be more content in shorter form and smaller bites that are on things like Instagram and TikTok and so on. I invite you to look at all of that, because one of the other reasons why my content production has been so low in the last couple of years is how do I organize all of this? How do I organize writing? If you follow me on Instagram or you're on my Facebook, you see that I put out a ton of writing. How do I organize these shorter videos? What do I do with all this insane B-roll that I have from traveling all over the world for the last 3 years? What's this new thing, TikTok, that everybody's talking about that they're swearing not to be on, but then they say is the thing to do? There's an enormous amount of content that I'm producing and that I had to get organized with and work with different editors on and so on in order to have even a scope of what this is all going to turn out to be. And I want to also tell you this, you know, I do this to run a business, and it's almost like it's a separate thing. And I think that's a good thing, if that makes sense. I would much rather you watch my videos and enjoy them and have an outlet for me to put out some sort of art. Some sort of art that's mixed with philosophy that is trickling down into this kind of moving picture of, you know, what it is I do and what it is I share. But all of this comes from coaching men endlessly. I mean, man, nonstop. I have 30 to 40 hours of calls a week. I have private clients. We do deep work, and I make massive changes with people. That then filters in through my life. It filters in through different thoughts and ideas. I write about it, and then I produce videos like this. I want you to get something out of them. I want you to enjoy it. I want you to know that there's something bigger out in the world that you can be a part of. Right now, and for the last couple of years, my business has been just fine. Of course, I would love more clients. Of course, I would love to be able to do more of what I like to do. So I don't just want clients or people that want to hire me and not do anything. I actually want to work with people. I want that if you sign up for one of my programs, you are ready to put in the work. Now, I say all this because I always put a little bit of an advertisement for the different things that you can do. You know, you can opt in and get on the Rebuild Challenge. You can buy into the Rising Man. You can buy into Men's Development Excellence. And if you like those things, you can move into the upper tier communities and so on. You know, all of that is super important, but I think what's most important is that you get something out of this, that you have a force of nature in you. You have an answer, you have a solution. You as a man in this world can live a very, very amazing and great life. Happiness is there for you to find. Peace is there for you to find. Confidence, women are there for you to find. Your anger, your hate, all those things, let them be lessons to you to find something greater in yourself. This is truly, truly what I've done with my life. I've had many hard things in my life, and I know people that have had way, way harder things in their life. I found a way to make them good. I live a good life. I hope to continue to live a good life, and I even hope that I will have hardships in my life that are backed by a wisdom where I can turn them into something good. In any case, gentlemen, thanks for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope this made some sense. But if not, well, sorry I wasted your time.